11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 Pacific. For about an hour or 90 minutes each day. We do 3 gun-related topics each day, different topics throughout the week. And we run it live on YouTube. We're simulcasting it over at gunchannels.com. We take the audio when it's all over and post that on iTunes as a podcast. And we ask everyone who's listening to the show now and in the future to do us the favor of heading over to iTunes or YouTube or Gun Channels or wherever it is you might listen to the show and interact with that platform. Comment on the videos or the podcasts. Give us some feedback. Use the thumbs up or the stars, whatever they might be. Subscribe to our channels. It lets us know where people are listening. It also helps our show to be recommended to more people. So we do appreciate when you take that time to do that. We have 5 hosts. Everybody's here today. We got Bob jumping in normally from Canada, now in Tucson. Thanks for joining.
Hey, glad to be here.
We got Dano normally in Illinois, now in Kentucky, in KY. Thanks for...
In Murray, Kentucky, as a matter of speaking.
We got Z, normally in Murray, Kentucky, but today only in the island of Maui. Thanks for jumping in. And there's Smeggy. We think he's in Michigan. I'm not sure. Didn't say.
Yep. Normally traveling, actually at home. It's kind of amazing.
Fire trucks on the tarmac.
And I'm down here in Tucson as well. Although, about half an hour ago, we were in Tombstone, Arizona. So we're starting the show. It is, what is it today? Thursday, episode 309. We're going to be talking about gun stuff, 40, 357 SIG, and 9mm conversions. For the training segment of the show, we'll talk about ideas of how to always be aware of your surroundings, unless Dano wants to take us in a different direction, seeing as he's fresh off the training mode. And then we've got all the stuff that we normally do in a day. On a typical day, the gun shop of the day, the gun movie of the day. We'll be talking about shooting events and maybe Bob and I's adventure down to Tombstone today, or Dano's adventure through Tennessee and Kentucky, or Smeggy's adventure in Michigan.
No adventures here.
But before we get started with all that, we usually take a break at the beginning of the show, talk about anything that happened overnight or anything that's worth talking about.
I don't know of anything.
Fire trucks on the tarmac?
Yeah, it was the other day, man.
Oh, I just saw it today. Sorry.
I don't know what that.
I'm about 30 miles closer to home today.
Didn't do much traveling then, huh?
I'll say he walked.
He's pushing his car.
No, I'm actually information gathering is what I'm doing, and that does take time.
Recon.
Yep. Good intel is fantastic. Bad intel gets you killed.
Yep.
We might talk about it later on in the show as well, but we were just down in Tombstone. We went to the Gunfighter Museum, and he happened to have just purchased what he claims to be, and why would we have any reason to doubt him? He owns a museum. The Smith & Wesson model, what?
29.
29 from Dirty Harry. It's got the badge and the sunglasses and a bunch of documents like in a little display. And he's like, this is still open. You guys want to touch it? I'm like, fuck yeah. So Bob's got
I'm going to get my paw prints all over that thing.
It's kind of neat to be able to say you held that gun. I'm assuming that's the gun. I say, I don't know why we would. I don't know. I mean, it does seem weird that the guy in Tombstone would buy it, but.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it's funny. It was in an American Rifleman like about a year ago or two maybe, and I think I just saw an article not that long ago about the one that was gifted to Dirty Harry himself. So I doubt it's that one in particular, the one that was gifted to Clint.
It's not that one. It's the one that was in the movie, I guess.
He said it was one in the movie.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
So what was the 41 Magnum like?
44.
41 in the movie.
So we don't know.
And we're checking on that right now.
It was a 41 in the movie, but yes, I understand what you mean.
Anyhow, that's what we were doing. So we talked about the trip. We went to a couple of gun shops and down to Tombstone, checked out some
That
stuff.
picture causes fear.
Well, you're saying that if a big camper, a 16
No.
pound camper,
I'm saying that picture that you have on your screen right now scares me.
I'm saying if a 16,000 pound trailer with a crazy gray truck pulled you over, and this guy comes out wielding a 44 Magnum and a badge, you're not gonna respect the badge.
I'm not stopping. No way, no how.
Yeah, I most definitely don't feel lucky with that picture.
And I may be a punk.
All right, well, if nothing else happened, why don't we dig into the show? It's episode 309. And today's first one is our gun stuff topic, so kind of our general catch-all topic for the week. And it looks like we're talking about the 40, 357, and 9mm conversions. I'm a big fan of these. I think it's one of the greatest things about a Glock. Buy a 40 cal Glock, and you can run all those other lesser calibers.
Now, in theory, can you do that also in, say, a SIG or a Smith & Wesson? In theory?
Probably now more than before, for sure, because I'm sure there's aftermarket barrels for those less popular guns.
Well, and I was thinking whether it's the SIG because the 320 and the 250, they have the fire control system. So like literally you can, you take it out and put it in another frame and everything like that. So I imagine you could still do the barrel change pretty easily as well. I think.
They have barrel conversions for a lot of different manufacturers nowadays.
Testing.
Yeah, we hear you.
All right. Just wondering because Dano stepped all over me while I was talking. So Glock did a really good job on making one gun that you can convert to those different calibers. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it is nice to you have your initial investment and then you buy some conversion stuff and you have it's like you have 3 or 4 different guns, but not really because you keep using the same frame. So,
yeah,
that's pretty neat. I don't have any conversions. I know CZ makes one for the 75 that shoots 22s. That's kind of neat.
Does anybody on the panel shoot 357 SIG? I know the answer to 40 and or 9mm, but does anybody on the panel shoot 357 SIG?
No, I have a barrel though, so that I can run it, if I have the ammo, but I don't see any reason to, other than if the other stuff is scarce or something.
So almost like on a preparedness level, you have the ability to utilize other ammunition.
Maybe more like the cheap level. If I find like a bag of ammo cheap, I can shoot it now.
They sell ammo in bags? I guess they do.
It's definitely good if you're preparing for zombies or whatever, because you never know what you're going to find.
I like to snoop the shops for, like somebody will sell a gun, let's say, and they've shot like 5 rounds out of a box of 50. So they'll usually like put that on a table and sell it for cheap. That's why I just meant like a loose bag.
So a store can resell open ammunition?
They will
I
sometimes.
suppose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but if you snoop the shops enough, like say, however often guns come in, it's usually just somebody who's, not familiar with guns.
And
or
you
whatever.
probably got a pretty good nose for ammo, I bet, G. With between all your ammo collection and different caliber stuff, I imagine you got a pretty good nose for that.
I don't know. But anyway, that's why I have that barrel, is just so that if I come across the ammo on the cheap.
Gander Mountain, I understand, is known for rebuying and taking back ammunition.
Not for much longer, buddy.
That's true.
And that's why they went out of business.
For my
I
slow,
think that's one of the reasons.
Which store does that?
I think that's about to be past tense because Gander Mountain is bankrupt and closing their stores.
Oh, it's just
Although some of the stores will simply be rebadged, is my understanding as well.
Only if some other company either picks them up or they go to be an independent store.
Camping World bought them.
Nice.
They bought all the buildings and the name, and I saw an article that said like they're gonna maybe keep 9 open. I don't know if that's like 9 in the country or if it was like a local article because it was from like a local newspaper. So maybe they meant 9 in the state, but
it's a very small number for sure. But yes, the successful stores, will continue to be successful, so they'll just rebadge them.
Yeah, they're gonna start selling boats and stuff too. I saw that because that same dude owns some boat company that he wants to start selling boats at the locations.
Maybe Wilderness Outfitters will buy them out, and then you'll have another Canadian gun store. And
I already told you who bought them out. Freaking Camping World. Jeez.
But they might buy the other stores.
They bought all of them.
Yeah, but you said they're only going to keep 9 open. So what do you think they're going to do with the other ones? Would they possibly sell them? Or are they just going to let them sit there?
They're going to see a Canadian come up to try to buy them, and they're going to burn them down. That's what I
think. When hell freezes over.
Hey.
Plus, you already know Canadian money's no good. No good.
No one wants that monopoly money. But anyways, conversion kits, you can buy those with Canadian money, and those are neat, I guess.
Yeah, but you can only buy those in Canada with Canadian money.
What do y'all think about 22 conversions?
I think those are excellent. I kind of wish I had one or two, like one for maybe one of the rifles and for the Glock if possible. That would be nice. Because I don't happen to own any 22s at this point.
Yeah, you should get one for the Glock at least then.
We shall see. But I would definitely think that for manipulation of your personal use or your regular use firearm, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I mean, granted, clearly recoil is not going to be anywhere near the same, but manipulation and draw and stuff like that, sight picture, that's also going to be the same.
I could see that being a big advantage nowadays that everybody's doing all their fancy slide work and they're putting their optics on and stuff. Then they can just swap out the barrel and shoot more stuff out of it.
Yeah, and actually kind of get more use out of it. Get those pennies from the dollars. Nice, Tony. I'm sorry. I do have to admit I don't happen to have a 22 at this time.
No,
he says nobody admits that they don't have a 22.
Are we going to talk about the phenomenon where a lot of people, the trend is to buy a 40 Glock, right? Like a 22 or a 27 or a 23, and then of course they buy the 9mm subcaliber insert and run 9 out of it because that's all they can handle. But then when they act like a big shot at the range, acting like they got a 40.
I did that for years.
3 boxes. So it looks like they're loading a 40.
That's what I ran for several years.
People do that?
That's a thing. It's a trend now, trying to act tough.
Well, I mean, I could understand it for the value of shooting 9 over 40 cost-wise and everything like that, but people really, they smile and they brag about it? Like we were talking the other day?
It's called 40 frontin'.
Shouldn't.
It's called 40 frontin'.
This is his persona, like Yankee.
I've seen it happen. It's sad.
Is that like when they say I got a Glock 40 and really they got a high point? Is that the same thing? Sort of the same thing?
Are you joining him?
No. It's dude, that is an actual thing. It's in rap tunes and everything.
Well, yeah. People say they got a Glock 40 when in fact they've got a Glock 22 or a Glock 23.
Or a high point. That was the whole thing out of the video that I saw.
Oh, okay.
He was fronting, and then when G said 40 fronting, that's what made me think of it. Hashtag 40 fronting.
I don't know. I might buy like a 10mm and then pretend like it's something else, but I wouldn't be proud of shooting a 40. 40 short and weak. Come on.
Yeah,
nice.
It's not a powerful cartridge. It's not like a 10mm or a 350 57 Magnum.
Well, they must make 45 conversions for the 10s, huh?
I don't know about that.
Yes, they do.
Because that would be a pretty cool combo.
I think
I forget the name of the company, but I looked into that actually about a month ago, and yes, there is a conversion for the 10 mil into 45.
See, then I would get a Glock 40 with a 45 barrel and a conversion barrel. That'd be pretty
that
cool.
could be something. That would be interesting. I might be interested in something like that. That could be cool.
All right, any more conversion stuff, or should we convert our way into the next topic?
I'm good on conversions.
I'm good.
Yeah, let's convert.
It's a lot of goodness. For goodness sake.
All right, so that'll take us into the second topic today, training. And like I say, unless Dana wants to do the training, we'll talk about how to be aware of your surroundings, or ideas on being aware of your surroundings. With all this running around doing stuff, have you had time to absorb and deal with all the stuff you learned in the last 2 days of nonstop learning?
Or is your brain goo, Dano?
It's just easier than mute.
I'm quite frankly, I'm because I'm doing something else as well. I really have not processed it, and I won't process it until I have time to get home and get back to the regular life, so to speak. I do it half-ass.
All right, so we'll just do the regular topic then.
Sounds good.
So we're trying to use the interactive nature of this new media, and it's not like we have time or ability or even inclination to write up a bunch of stuff to tell you. So instead, we'll just have a conversation about it. So if anybody out there has some ideas on how you are aware of your surroundings, there's all kinds of tips, from everything from martial arts to gunfighting to combat stuff. There's little ways to keep your mental acuity, I guess, or keep your awareness level up. So if people have some suggestions there, how about you guys though? Do you have any tricks or tips that you do when you enter a room, or to keep your mind going?
I'll just give you a couple off the top of my head as an example. Walking into a convenience store. Most convenience stores have glass doors, so you can actually see inside, hear whoever's working there. Before you open the door, look in to see what seems to be going on, and specifically look at the face of the cashier. Human beings, regardless of our languages, we have a universal language, communication, body language. And if something's going on in there that's not right, it's going to be all over the cashier's face. In that regards.
And that's when I pretend like I must have forgot my wallet in the car, and I drive away.
Exactly. Do not enter. Do not create. Take a problem and make it a bigger problem. Make that U-turn. Go back. Seek some cover and call 911 and get someone there, assuming that the situation does not continue to unfold in a different manner, and suddenly come out to you, and then you adapt and change.
You were saying about ideas on how to be always aware. Like, keep your eyes open. Like, no doubt, get your face out of your phone. Number one.
I mean, kind of like we talked about with the gun on the ground thing. The reason that the gun, at the range, is to teach you to use your peripheral vision to find it, but you always keep your eyes on the bad guy. You don't take your eyes off of him, because the moment you do, the situation can change and you're not aware of it, so you cannot react appropriately to the change, whatever that change happens to be. But going back to tips and so forth, like going into a restaurant, I'm going to a lot of restaurants the past several days. I in addition to the walking in thing and trying to read how do the employees seem to be doing, is I like to sit near an alternate exit with facing the front of the restaurant. Now a lot of people may be aware of that, but that's something that I like to do. Is aware, because I can see something from all the way across the restaurant as far as somebody comes barging in, or there seems to be some argument or whatever going on at the front door, or there's a fire someplace and I need to go out the back door. It just gives me all sorts of options that if I have my back towards where all the possibilities may start, I'm the first one to know. I want to be one of the first ones to know.
So you're saying get your face out of your phone, and over on the YouTube side, Buzz said a bunch of stuff, and then get your face out of your phone. But you guys are forgetting that your phone is basically a mirror. So now you're basically watching 360. You got your phone.
No, you're not, though. When you're reading your phone, sometimes you're scrolling, sometimes you're texting, sometimes you're actually on the phone or what have you, potentially. It's a distraction that can cause more problems than use it as a mirror, because it's not the best mirror. It's not a wide angle mirror, and it still is a distraction that can lead to bad things.
And you don't have peripheral vision with the camera that you do with your normal vision.
I'm thinking like a samurai, how they'll hold their sword up near their eyes so they can see behind
So
them.
do you walk through the parking lot like a samurai?
Like a deadly samurai.
Well, because technically a samurai had the right to cut down any particular peasant they felt like, pretty much. So do you walk through the parking lot like that, G? Since we're utilizing samurai technology.
I feel like I have that right. I feel like I have that right, but I also feel like I'm kind enough to not utilize that right.
Okay.
He's the benevolent samurai.
All right, so we also got some suggestions from the gun channel side from Angry. I think it was Angry. Where are they at? Sitting in the corner. So, or where'd it go? Sitting in the restaurant, back to the door. When sitting in a restaurant, back to the door, front to the door, back away from the door. Yeah.
He's trying to say what I said.
Well, didn't you say near an alternate exit though?
Yeah, with your back towards the front of the building, towards where there's an exit.
So
You don't have to
added
be
that
facing it, so
aspect
you
to
just
it.
have to be near it.
So here's another thing along those lines. Do you walk into a place like Bob and I, this has happened to us, I don't know, a million times in the last couple of weeks when we've been going out to eat or something. You walk into a place, it's sporadically busy or whatever, you know, there's like a couple of people in there. You can basically choose the table. And while I agree with you, I like to sit with so I'm facing the door. So if some weirdo comes in, you can see it. Do you scan to those perfect tables in the restaurant? If there's somebody sitting there, to take notice, I guess, of if that person is aware and sitting there with intent, or if they're just totally oblivious, eating or doing whatever and just wasting the best spot in the place. Because I like to, I don't know if I do it every time, but I think it is one of those things that if you put it in your checklist of things to try to keep yourself aware of, then, you know, it's another thing to try. If there is somebody sitting there and they look up, so let's say you're sitting in that table and I walk in, I'm going to be looking for that table and you're going to be sitting at that table because you're looking at everybody that walks in. And then you get that, like,
I'm going to give you the stink eye, bro.
well, you get that acknowledgement that at least there's somebody else sitting there who's aware of what the hell's going on.
Maybe a tip of the cap. Maybe.
Well, I'm not saying you're going to be befriending of everybody who sits in the best spot in the restaurant, but I do like to see if that person is, you know, sitting there for a reason or not.
Oh, I just meant you, dude. I didn't mean anybody else.
Yeah, well, I remember that one time we walked in the restaurant and in our table, I like to think of it as the table that we always take. There's a bunch of cops sitting there. So it's like, they beat us to the table.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you go over to the table and threaten them, Bob?
No, it's not a good sign though when you go to a normal table and it turns out that's also where the cops tend to sit.
Yeah.
And that's verification that you're sitting at the right type of table.
Well,
Yeah.
let's admit though that the restaurant is not the only place that we need to be aware of our surroundings. G-Webs, you did a little video series a little while back about situational awareness, and a good portion of it was the parking lot, whether it was at the grocery store, the mall, or Walmart, or whatever. And I definitely think that was a beneficial video series because that's another place where people aren't always paying attention. They got their face in their phone, or here's the other thing. Sometimes you'll be easily distracted in having a conversation with someone that you may be walking with. That doesn't mean that the bad guy, bad guys, bad people, whatever, that doesn't mean that they won't try and take two, especially if there's more than one of them.
Yeah, and here's one other thing I've noticed is if the guy walking in front of you, if he's aware, like he will, even if you're talking, he will turn his back to you when he goes in, and then he will go to the ideal place to sit, and then leave you to sit with your back to the entrance. So, yeah, but if you come in and scan, like whether it's a parking lot or anything, if you just come in, anytime you go into a store, just take a scan around, and anybody's just going to think you're looking for what you're after. You're looking for, the bathroom or the cooler, whatever. So you just kind of take a nice scan around, and that's what you can use as your scan, and at the same time you can find what you're looking for, and nobody thinks twice about it. Because
you don't exactly have to stand in the doorway to do that either. You can walk in and step to the side so you're not like blocking foot traffic or drawing attention to yourself, because that's the other thing. That's another way to be aware of your surroundings, not necessarily by trying to attract attention to yourself.
Oh yeah, but if you just see something bad, you just go, oh, there it is, or you don't have it, and turn around, go out, or whatever. No, I don't. I'm just making shit up now. But yeah, no, it's always good, and I always do that anyway because I hate to ask anyone for where something is, so I will tend to look, whether I'm in a supermarket or.
I might know where it is and still ask 3 people just so that they can feel validated and working today.
Oh hell no, that's just bothersome to people who actually have a job and are working. They're usually having to clean or something.
Well, now I'm going to ask 5 people instead of 3.
You're a dick. I used to hate that.
Earn that money.
People that come up and ask you, "Where's this?" and it's right there in front of you, and you just kind of go, "Right there."
Hey, Bob, check it out. I got people that ask me on a regular basis if I commute to work from the mainland.
No.
Let's just say I get asked more than a few questions on a daily basis around here.
But I can say, because they're literally disorientated, they have no idea how far close the islands are together.
Well, then that's when they ask where the bridge is. Or the tunnel.
Yeah. But, no, as we're getting back to what we were talking about, no, I think it's just a good idea anytime you walk into any place to be aware of what's going on around you. Don't walk in looking on your phone, don't just walk blindly into a store, whether it's a convenience store or a grocery store. You never know what's going on. Plus, people shouldn't walk around like that.
Hey, don't be so broke that you can't afford to pay attention.
Good point. Yep.
That sounds quotable for the end of the day.
Doesn't cost any money to pay attention.
Potentially your life. So I'd say that it could be a great cost.
No, but I say it doesn't cost money to pay attention. It could be a detriment not to pay attention, but it doesn't cost you money. It could just cost you your life.
Anyway,
So-
yeah, one of the things too, you guys all gave up good points and everything, and I'm with you, like what you said earlier. If you walk in and you see someone like we'll call it like the lookout table or whatever, like at a restaurant, and they do look up like they are checking everyone walking in, I'll at least kind of give them like a slight head nod, like, all right, me and you, buddy, like we're on a team now if something goes down, like, we're the same thing, because they'll notice the people that are looking around as well. But more so just to kind of build up that skill is you kind of make a game out of it. I mean, I just get used to like noticing stuff, and then you'll be talking to your buddy or whatever, and then just say like, hey, did you see green shirt? And then if he saw the guy wearing the green shirt, I'd be like, oh yeah. Or it's like, oh no, I didn't. What was that all about? It's like, oh, he had blah blah blah. Like if there's something kind of weird about it or whatever. Not that I'm saying it's something like is completely off, but just like it's almost like a game. Like, and let me tell you, if someone's like, oh, did you see, purple hair guy? And you're like, what? No, I didn't notice that. Like you feel bad that you didn't notice it. So then it kind of reminds you, oh, I better pay attention a little bit more.
Actually, that's, at first I was thinking this is crazy. Like, this is only something Smeggy would think of. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, damn, that's a good idea, and it'd be fun.
If we could just translate, or not translate, but move over to like parking lot scenarios just for a moment. A couple of things that I have, especially if it's like dark or it's transitioning to dark, is if there's cars on the left and right, as an example, and you're going back to your car, is to walk down the center so that number one, if you're walking towards the bumper, somebody literally can't just grab you and pull you in. The other is walk past your car, looking for people that might be hiding behind cars. And the third one is when you do get to your car, look in the back seat before you get in the front seat. And that's anybody else got anything for parking lots?
Yeah, well, by that same token is what everybody should do is when they're getting in, before they get in their car, they should take a walk around it. Just look at your tires, if nothing else. I mean, that's what a professional driver does, and I've done it because I used to have that. So
what I meant by walk past your car.
Does anybody park under a light on purpose, or do they just take whatever parking spot they can?
When I find in at least the parking lots I go to, a lot of times the lights they're almost always taking those areas.
I actually,
but then again,
even at night, I'll park at the, further back in the parking lot. I'm not worried about walking in the dark for some reason. There's usually enough light that it's never dark in a parking lot. At least not what real dark is, so it's and I like to park further away besides walking back and forth from the store.
And then ultimately, that's another reason why, we should have some sort of flashlight with us. It's not necessarily part of the gun.
That's a true point. Yeah.
Yeah. And as for the parking thing, I like to park kind of like Bob. I'd rather park further away, but that's more so just, I don't want to have to walk like between two cars to get into my car or whatever. Like, so this way, when I'm walking up to my car, if there's no other cars for like 2 or 3 spots in all directions, then I know there's not someone that's just going to step out unless they're literally standing right behind my car. In which case, then it's like, why are you hiding behind my car? You're not supposed to be here. Then, like, I've already know there's something going on. Whereas otherwise, you also don't want to like come around the corner and see someone like you think is like hiding behind your car and get all like freaked out about it. And turns out they're just trying to get in to the passenger side of their car, So this way it's like, I know you wouldn't be around my car unless you're being weird.
Yeah, crouch down doing up their shoelaces behind their car because they've just put stuff in the trunk and noticed their shoelace was untied.
Right.
And, you don't drawing down on them.
Right. Well, or even just being like, hey, what are you doing over here? And the dude's like, this is my car. What are you doing here? It's just, I don't think I wouldn't just draw instantly just because I saw someone like standing next to a car.
No, but if they were crouched down behind a car next to yours, you might.
I wouldn't draw. I would at least, but I would be heightened. I mean, that's definitely whatever the colors are. Like I'd jump into the red zone or whatever.
Yeah, it would heighten your level of readiness, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
should actually.
Anyways, just like you said, just getting away from some of the other cars. It minimizes your chance of running into a hiding spot type of thing. Like I said, they could still be behind your car, but then
you
there
can only
see it as you're coming up.
There is a term, and I can't remember what it was. I just heard it 2 days ago, and that's where you turn wherever your firearm is, or holster, I should say, is, to where the potential issue may be, and just get a solid grip on it, and then depending on what transpires, you just simply either let go of the grip and resume your normal activities, forward depending on what's going on. But getting your hand on that grip by itself can be a major game changer in regards to suddenly things going, but doing so in a non-threatening way. You're not pulling it out. You're not pointing it at anybody. Just putting your hand on your grip.
And quite honestly, most people wouldn't even notice that. They would just be like, "Oh, that dude's like scratching his butt or something."
Right, exactly.
Because honestly, most people don't notice anything.
Yeah, bad people might notice because they're targeting you.
All
They're
right, I got
watching.
one for you. Bathroom, public bathroom, like say at a concert, the bar, or the game. You gonna keep looking around? What you gonna do when you're standing there in the urinal?
I
gonna
look
do what the
over
girls
every
do?
stall door just to make sure.
You're going to do what the girls do, and you're going to have a bathroom buddy, and one goes, then the other goes. They don't go at the same time.
What? Bathroom?
No,
That's weird.
no.
And that's not happening. So
No,
I don't go into the ambush funnel of a public bathroom either. So I'll just go into a janitor closet or maybe a storage room, just pee in there.
Well, okay.
I
I
mean,
mean, if you're into public urination, that's up to you. But I'm using the bathroom.
It's a sign
And-
of character.
I like the sink because then you can use the mirrors to see what's going on behind you while you're going.
But having a friend with me who's not, let's say that there's 3 urinals there, who's not going to get right side by side with me, but who's going to go either in front of me or behind me. So while the other one's taking care of business, the other guy can at least have your back.
Yeah,
Dude,
like you
if
stand
he's
back
going
to
right-
drink a urinal, one person going, one person guarding.
I was just thinking the way Dano made it sound like, okay, one person's in front using the urinal. Is the other person like going in between his legs or in his back pocket? What?
No. If I got to draw you a picture, then I guess
Yeah,
I give up.
Yeah, you can't help them. Don't worry, Dano.
I'm not that worried about going to the public bathroom.
No, but I guess what I was talking about is like when you go to a professional sporting game or something that's large with tens of thousands of people, they're not all going to be utilizing the same bathroom. It's just there are large amounts of people coming and going, and I was trying to get the ideas of how to be aware of your surroundings in a thrall of people is pretty much what I was trying to get. And yes, that I did imply that it is dangerous to utilize the public restroom in a situation like that.
Well, I don't go to those places, so I'm not good at that. The only time the most crowds I'm in is at a gun show.
Oh, okay.
That's like what Dano's saying, times like everybody in line.
Well, I guess, again, it's just one of those things. It's almost the same thing you do when you walk up to your house at night or you're walking across the parking lot. It's keep your head out of your phone. Pay attention. Have your eyes open. I'm not saying check everybody out, dude, because that's going to creep people out, and that's a good way to get punched in the face. So,
Yeah, I guess I put my hands in the fate of the gods when I go to a restroom like that because I'm going in and staring at the wall because I'm not rude. That's what every man should do. Just stare at the wall. Keep your eyes forward. Don't be looking around.
well, and at least if you utilized your peripheral vision as you're facing forward, you're not looking down, you're just looking to the sides.
Exactly. That's what I was just going to say. You're not staring at anybody. You're looking straight forward, but it doesn't mean you don't use your peripheral vision.
And here's the other thing. Use your ears.
Or your spidey sense.
Well, I don't have spidey sense, so I'll utilize my ears. I will
Well, you
pay
guys got a
extra
bunch
attention.
of weird spiders out there. You haven't been bit by one yet?
I've been bit by many spiders.
Sean's saying those cow trough style urinals. The strategy for those is just run back and forth while you're peeing.
I hate
That's
those ones.
potentially a good way to get punched in the face. I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe some of the places that I've been, I've seen fist fights start going into the bathroom and coming out of the bathroom. I've seen fist fights at both of those times. Not on the same day or anything like that. Just in different instances.
I've never seen bathrooms is this dangerous before.
Oh, dude.
Well, if you're talking concerts and stuff, everyone's all lit up, So you got
Exactly.
that going on.
So, and everybody shouldn't have guns if they're all lit up. But anyway.
Well, most of the time you can't get into a concert usually with a gun, but that doesn't mean that the other person doesn't have, or 2 or 3 other people don't have the roll of quarters or the knife, the whatever, that they just cranked you in the back of the head, threw you in the stall, and now they're taking your money. So,
Well, that's why you just want to be aware of what's going on around you.
Yeah, I never realized that Miley Cyrus concerts were so dangerous. I'm glad I've never been to one.
I've never been to a Miley Cyrus
Sound
concert.
very scary.
Well, now we're just talking about potentialities at concerts or something. So any other ideas on how to be aware of surroundings? Or tips?
That's what we were just doing, I thought. But okay.
I don't know. I guess we're getting a little weird with the concert stuff in the bathrooms. I mean, we only go to the bathroom occasionally. It's not like we're spending all our time there. What about
Depends on how much beer you drink. Gonna be going a lot more often than you may think. But anyway,
That's almost actually, you almost brought up a good point as far as this does kind of get back to situational awareness. Is do you get super, super drunk when you're out in public? Because, you know, you're not going to have very good situational awareness
that's the
if,
fact.
you know, you're really, really bad. So there's a tip is have a
don't
couple
get
beers
sauced.
or whatever, but, you know, stay normal. Keep your wits about you.
Don't get juiced. Do they still use that word?
I don't have any idea what the kids say nowadays.
Well, I'm going to suggest we're not getting much feedback from the people watching live. They're kind of going off and into different subjects, so that's probably a cue to move along. So next one today will be shooting events. We'll go check out the calendar over on Gun Channels. Before we do, though, we'll take a break and we'll talk about our logo gear. Right now, I think we're out of the patches, but we do have shirts over on the website. It's dailygunshow.com. So if you are interested in supporting the show financially, so we can support some of the shipping we're going to be doing here, and still like to do things like get some microphones. You know, Matt, Never Enough Ammo uses about a $30 microphone, I think. I think, you know, that probably could do well for some of us, improve some of the quality. People occasionally give us some feedback on the quality, so we don't really do this in a studio if it's not obvious. So there are some things that we'd like to do, and like to help participate in that. And just to share the show. It's the Mike and Muzzle logo that's on the screen when I'm talking, and it's all over our website. We want to encourage people who are interested in getting something like a t-shirt or a mug or whatever to check it out. Or if you'd like to just help promote the show without a financial obligation, take that logo, just right click on it and save as, and then share that on Facebook, on Instagram. A couple of people are doing it with the Daily Gun Show, the hashtag Daily Gun Show Showdown. But just in addition to that, I know Mike puts out some, he kind of does some Photoshop or whatever of our logo and some guns and stuff, and just to help get the word out about the show. So we would really appreciate people to do that, and we thank people who have and are doing that.
Yeah, thanks. Or mahalo, as they say out here.
What's Hawaiian for Daily Gun Show?
There is no Hawaiian for Daily Gun Show.
Oh. You could have just made something up. I would have been happy.
Is it like Eskimo where there's like so many words for snow?
Well, there's not even like 24 letters in the alphabet, so.
There's got to be something for daily, right? It's okay. You just don't know it. That's all right.
So we're going to head over to gunchannels.com. Up in the calendar, or excuse me, up in the menu up at the top there, you'll see that underneath resources, we've got a firearms calendar, and we can jump over there and see what's heading up or what's coming up. We can also just click on the main page, and down here near the chat someplace, we got the upcoming events. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at. If you'd like to participate in this portion of the show, you can just head over to Gun Channels, do what I did, click on resources, and then go down to firearms calendar. You can post events that you're participating in or that you attend, that you just like to attend. Maybe it's on the other side of the country or something. By posting it here, maybe somebody on Gun Channels will find out about it and go take some photos, or even be a point of contact for you. So, you know, help you source something or talk to someone who you've been trying to get a hold of, and you never know. So feel free to use the calendar. And of course, we talk about it every Thursday on this show. I'm sure some of the other shows might be talking about the calendar as well. So it looks like the first thing we got coming up is in June. So we don't have anything else for the rest of May. So if you've got something that you're aware of coming up in May, feel free to add it. We can talk about it next week. but the Blade Show out in Atlanta is sort of a large gun show, except it's all blades, manufacturers, designers, and whatever you call bladesmiths show up, and all their fans, and it's a pretty big event. It's getting bigger every year, especially with the social medias and the YouTubes and stuff showing up and making it even making more people aware of what goes on there. But it's been going on for a long time, so that's something you might be interested in. The Outdoor Retailer is a large show like SHOT Show, except for like outdoor shops or hiking and backpacking type of shops. Who put TriggerCon in there? I forget who put it in there.
I put it in there, but I don't know a lot about it. I saw like an Instagram thing. It looked like it had a bunch of like competition ARs and like just different gun accessories and stuff. I don't know a lot about it.
Is that up in your neck of the woods?
I don't think so. I don't remember where it is though.
Okay. Well, all anybody has to do is click on it and you can find out more about it. We've got an Ohio cartridge show. I think that must be in Ohio, and it's a cartridge show. So it's basically like a gun show for ammunition collectors. So if you're interested in something like that, I suspect they're a little smaller than a regular gun show, but I'm not sure. Haven't been able to attend one yet. We've got the Trinity Site tour in here. That's just the place in New Mexico where the first atomic bomb was detonated. They allow you twice a year to go in there just once and check it out. So I always throw it in the calendar there. We've got the Knob Creek machine gun shoot coming up. So we're already up to October in the calendar. We can definitely use some more.
You hold on for a sec. I got a question.
Sure.
Do you recall, because I know in addition to yourself, you know a number of people who have attended Tactical Response. They have an annual alumni weekend. I want to say that sometime during the summer. Is that on there, or do you know roughly when that typically is? I unfortunately don't remember.
I don't live anywhere near as close as you, so I can't just drive to it or anything. But so I don't know when it is. But no, it's not in the list. It should be. So feel free to add it.
Yep. When I get home, I will take care of that.
So let's see. The Knob Creek shoot, like we mentioned, is in October. Somewhere around there will be the Big Sandy shoot as well. This National Association of Sporting Goods Wholesalers is an exposition very much like SHOT Show, directed towards gun shops. So it's a little bit smaller, but basically the same thing. And I think that roams around the country, each different place each year. Looks like it's coming up in October. Then we've got the biggest gun show in the country showing up again in November in Tulsa. There'll be the Small Arms Review show in November, in early December. And we've got the Gun Channel's anniversary in here for November 15th. So we usually do our anniversary get together at the November Tulsa show, or at least we did once. So now it's going to become an annual thing, perhaps. So we'll see if people can meet up there, and we maybe do a machine gun shoot or something like we did last time.
That's also opening day for rifle season in Michigan. So come visit me at my deer camp. If you're friends enough to know where it is, you're welcome to come. Anyways.
Right. When's that?
I've been thinking of that, doing some type of, Michigan Gun Channels meetup. And going up to my place. But anyways.
What time of year?
Well, I don't know what time. I would just mention the November thing because that's opening day of deer season.
Yeah.
So if you want to go sit quietly in the woods, you can do
Yeah,
that on
Bob,
November 15th.
quiet. Don't see it happening.
Hey, I've killed.
That's why he doesn't know where it is.
I like to stalk my deer, so I've learned to be quiet when it's important.
So anyway, just so you know, that was you are listening to Kelala Ike Ia Mau Pu A Ho Ike.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't tight.
Somebody's been studying.
Just in case you didn't know.
How do you have to say all of that to say Daily Gun Show? That just seems...
Well, because when the Hawaiian language was invented, there weren't guns. There was no show is not a thing that they did. So there's two words that have to have more than one word to describe of what it is, because you're not really saying show and you're not really saying gun, I believe.
Okay.
Just like when you speak any Native American tongue, you know what I'm saying? Tatanka. Is it easier to say buffalo or is it easier to say Tatanka? But anyway,
Bison.
moving along.
Thank you for teaching us.
Bison.
At least with Tatanka, it's one word versus one word.
All right.
Actually, Tatanka is 2 words, but that's beside the point.
Oh,
All right, so let's go on to
We didn't talk about Bob and me at the range, did we?
no. So that's what I was going to say. Let's go on to. We forgot to talk about yesterday that me and Bob went out to the range. So Bob, what'd you think about going to the range?
What? Hey, what?
We went to the range yesterday. We were going to talk about it today on the show.
Oh, it was a hoot, man. I
time to
knocked,
shine.
Here you
I
go.
knocked the pig down at 200 yards with my VZ58. Only took about 100 rounds.
So you walked it right in.
Yeah, more or less.
You know, Bob likes to make them dance, like feet, head, feet, head, feet, head, feet, head.
Now, what size target was this that you were shooting at that it took 100 rounds?
It's a pig. If you watch some of our old videos, actually, we'll probably find the video where it'll actually show the thing close up. It's maybe from your waist to your shoulders on a regular person.
Okay,
So
so it's
24
like
inches?
it's like a full size IPA silhouette target.
No, hell no. Much smaller than that.
Third
It's a
size.
pig down.
The whole thing is like the size of the shoulder area, maybe down to the
Right. Minus the arms.
Right.
So yeah, and it's like 200 yards out there, and I'm shooting open sights. And I'm
Wait,
old.
how many yards did you say
I'm
it was down there?
200. That was the 200 yards of pigs.
300. I thought you said
Now,
500. It was
Bob,
300.
granted, I'm just a couple years younger than you, and I wear trifocals, but at 200 yards with my iron sights on my AR-15, I have no problem hitting a 10-inch wide.
No, that's not fair, Dano. That's not fair at all.
Why is it not fair?
Because he's using a VZ58. To make your claim, you got to be using your Yugo or the Arsenal.
Gun bragging.
Well, I'm just saying, at least it's the same caliber. It's a similar rifle, whereas the AR is not going to have the same recoil impulse as the VZ or the AK.
But the difference is I don't bring up my AR nor its abilities on a regular basis. Someone else brings up his VZ58 all the time.
All right.
No,
let's
somebody
talk about where
somebody who was a good shot could put that to shame, I'm sure. I'm just
All
saying.
right, so talk about where we were shooting. So this is the range we were shooting at, and I'm in the truck, and we're about to drive down to the 500-yard one, but you'll see the other distances as we.
Yeah, we couldn't
So-
drive when we were there.
So
It wouldn't-
we couldn't drive anymore, but this would look like if we would have been able to drive, Bob. So that was the benches over there. Driving down to the 200-yard berm here. Fast forward a little bit. And these were chickens. And I don't know, let's try stopping here. I don't know if you can tell about how big those chickens are. I guess there's also just a little piece of metal. But those chickens are not much bigger than like maybe a basketball or something, but chicken shaped. That's a 200-yard berm. Then we'll go another 100 yards. So that's looking back at the benches. We'll go another 100 yards and look over to our right. And these are the pigs that Bob's talking about. So I don't know if you'll get much scale. I don't remember if I drove over there or not. But each of these pigs is like we were saying, from maybe the shoulders, no arms included on the target, IDPA target. So 12 inches tall, maybe 10, 12 inches tall and 18 inches long or something.
All right, so that's not exactly a huge target at 200 yards.
300. The first one's the chickens were 2, pigs were 3. These are the turkeys at 400, and they're getting a little bit bigger. So these are as big as a big turkey, right? A real turkey. And then finally we drive up to the 500, and these are sheeps and a big giant circle. And these are pretty big. These are bigger, not quite as big as a real sheep, but much bigger than any of the other targets. And I think I might get out and go look at them. They're giant, thick pieces of metal.
No. So it was 300 yards. Well, if I thought it was 200, that's probably why it took me 100 rounds.
Right?
So they kept, well, whatever.
But I actually did knock it down. It wasn't standing up anymore after one of my last shots. So
Yeah,
I know
and that's what I was gonna ask. Is that do they fall down? Is that the reason you're driving out there? Is to get all
No,
the targets set
Bob
up or something? Or are you just looking at it?
no, I must have
Bob
broke.
He damaged it because they're not. You can't even drive down there anymore. You're not supposed to drive down there, I guess, anymore.
Oh, okay. So normally they just sit there and you hear them go clang when you hit them.
Yeah.
Well, you probably didn't even hit the thing. You probably
No,
hit
they
the
don't go clang
thing that was
because
hanging it.
I didn't show you in this one, but they're as thick as your fist. I mean, they're like whatever, 4 or 5 inches thick of steel. So they just make a clunk, the sound of lead getting just demolished onto a piece of metal. They don't ring or anything.
Yeah, and of course there was always the distraction of the rounds coming out of the VZ58 banging off the tin roof because they were hitting the roof with the cover.
So, what was the favorite thing that you shot at the range yesterday?
You know, I'm starting to really like that LCR. I really like that little pistol. I mean, it's got some snap to it, but it just lets you know that you're firing a real bullet, like a real cartridge, eh? But oh yeah, it's neat. Little tiny revolver like that punches out those 357s. I like it, and it seemed to shoot real good too.
Nice.
So were you shooting steel with the LCR then?
No, we were shooting steel on that 500-yard range where they got 2, 3, 4, 500-yard berms, and then basically
Paper.
going to shoot paper. So we went over to a smaller range and shot at the paper.
Yeah,
Okay.
We were online during whatever early chat was yesterday, so we were online live out there. It's a pretty good signal.
Nice.
Yeah,
You actually got Wi-Fi, or I shouldn't say Wi-Fi. You're doing it on your phone, I imagine.
Yeah, they and everybody was able to have conversation with Bob, talk to him, and hear the gunshots and everything. It worked really well.
Yeah, that's kind of. I wonder how unusual that is because, like, when I was at lunch out at the range, I tried to see if I couldn't even get a cell signal to make a telephone call, let alone get enough of a signal to get online. Down in Tennessee.
Well, isn't Tennessee somewhat mountainous?
Where it was.
It doesn't go up in the air, but it goes down. It's hilly. It's not mountains or anything. You don't go up into the atmosphere and get snow.
I guess what I'm getting at is the signals not being able to reach very well in Tennessee, whereas you kind of have a almost flat, more wide open space where you were at, G, and the chance that you may have more cell towers than they do in Tennessee is also another possibility.
Oh, for sure. And like say, it's flat there, but then you dip down all the time. So I'm sure there's all kinds. Well, that's the only spot we've encountered dead spots when we did the big trip last time in 12. It was pretty much internet everywhere else. There was a couple of spots in New Mexico where they just don't have towers overlap.
Well, the only thing that was a minor concern for myself is I thought, well, what if we had an incident? Well, then we have to drive to get a signal.
Yeah. Or you just start driving to the hospital, basically.
Both.
Yeah, right? Somebody's driving, somebody's calling.
Somebody's bleeding.
Which is why you always have a what in your kit?
Band-Aid.
Tourniquet.
Boat bag.
Or get
Well, one person had the right answer.
No, blowout bag, same as tourniquet, except it's got big patches and bandages and shit.
Blowout kit.
Or bag.
Now, another thing that they did, I'm not trying to throw things backwards, but sometimes memories come. They come when they come. Is they asked if there were in the class, because it was a fairly large class, were there any current functioning EMTs in the class or medical doctors in the class?
That's a good idea.
And there were a couple. And of course, the instructors I don't know if they're all certified or not in regards to first aid, but several of them certainly were. So they said as far as which group, who was responsible, who was to do what, who was to get what vehicle to go to, who was going to drive, what, assigned responsibility. So everybody knew exactly what to do if something did occur. No doubt as to who's, doing role A, who's doing role B, who's taking role C. So anyway. And it just added to my, I was already confident, but it just added to my confidence of the safety aspects. Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh. Sounds like it's time.
It's happening. So, pop quiz. Everybody knows the drill. We're watching both the gun channel side and occasionally the YouTube side. The question today, everybody put your pencils down, is what model Smith & Wesson was Bob holding at the beginning of today's show?
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Mind-blowing.
Gimme. Incorrect. Steadily. M60, it was not. 42 is incorrect. It was not.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I can't believe this. That just
were these people even
now
You can't just type
that's a
numbers in.
number.
Come on, guys.
That's a number. That's not necessarily a model. Unless you want to give it to him, G. You tell me.
You guys can decide. You guys were all there.
I think it's got to be the actual name. Come on, don't just write down a
Just
number.
call it so-and-so's gun.
There we go, model 29.
You want to give it to what? That's it's the Chenzi.
Yeah, over on YouTube side.
Huh? A YouTuber won it. Let's
Holy cow! I can't believe a YouTuber won it.
No,
That's
what we're gonna
unimaginable.
Guard that one and give it to one of our friends over on Gun Channels.
Yeah,
Stirring the pot.
that's like unimaginable.
So it's the Chenzi. Congratulations. Way to be a winner. That makes you the technical pop quiz hot shot. So good job.
Where should he go to collect that prize?
Congratulations.
So we're sending you over.
Head on over to gunchannels.com/pop quiz. Fill out the form, put your first and second choice, and congratulations.
We're gonna need a Bob on this one. Everyone's bitching because you asked what model, so they all.
I thought he said what gun was Bob holding.
No, I said what model.
But either way, I think we need a Bob ruling on this one.
Bob, what do you think?
Well, I think if you don't like our answer and disagree with us, suck it up, Buttercup, because it's our show.
Yep.
And Bob was holding Dirty Harry's revolver earlier today. So
the answer official that caused it has the full authority to make that call.
That's right. And we would have accepted Dirty Harry's gun.
Right.
Yeah. Or Clint Eastwood's gun and Dirty Harry. Anything like that would have worked.
plus, we can't manipulate the system to give it to our friends all the time if we make the answers too cut and dry. So deal with that.
Well, technically we could, but this just proves that it's not rigged.
It just makes it.
Oh, I think we could probably quit beating up on this subject too.
All right, so then let's go to Gun Channel story time.
Oh, which story is it?
Yeah, you guys have to fill me in. What's the story for today? I don't have that tab open.
Apparently, everybody's not looking at the schedule.
No, I'm not.
Apparently, they don't know what we're talking about.
I would like to officially take one step back from this conversation because I might be a little bit too close.
The story's about you.
Yeah, apparently it's your story, so I don't know where it came from though.
I
It
do,
came from the little kid.
And, it's I think we should talk about this one off air before we proceed on it.
Well, originally it was an interview with a little kid at like the boardwalk or whatever, and he kept utilizing apparently, you know, and he, as he was
Apparently, I
giving
went on
his
the roller coaster, and apparently it was really fast.
Hold
yes.
on. It is possible to find this 1 minute clip off the internet.
It was great. Apparently, I've never been on live television before, but apparently sometimes I don't watch the news, and I'm a kid, and apparently every time, Grandpa just gives me the remote after we watch the Powerball. Oh, it was great! Because apparently you're spinning around, and apparently every time you get dizzy, all you do is get dizzy. Yeah. And I've never ever been on live television. I've never ever been on live television. Yeah, and apparently I already went down the super slide, and I went down the one and I was scared half to death. I just
Only half though.
All right, that's about gives you the context of that, or the gist of that video, right?
Yep.
Apparently, it does.
Apparently, some people think that has something to do with Dano, or that it's like a little baby Dano.
Apparently, I have heard that actually was Dano when he was done.
So I don't know. You know what happened is you probably said apparently, and then somebody went and grabbed that video.
Yes. Or we were watching the video as Dano had utilized the term apparently.
Now, had you
perhaps more than in one time?
Yeah, have you seen that video before and you were saying apparently all the time because of that video, Dano? Or you just happened to randomly pick that word to say?
Actually, I think I'm having a stroke, so we'll need to move on.
Okay.
Wow. All right, then.
Should we just call 911 for you, Dano?
No, I'm sure it'll pass.
Apparently, we hit a nerve.
Moving along.
So today is 5/11, May 11th, 5/11.
Ooh, is it? Now are they running a discount since it's 5/11?
I don't know.
I mean, this is like their
Anybody
day.
here think that 511 is good, or does anybody here think 511 is junk, or does anybody think that 511 is just fine?
I was at, I don't remember where it was, but a very large Gander Mountain, I think it was Marion, Illinois, that actually had a 511 section, and all they had were like, they weren't even concealed carry pants, they were just like regular pants. It was like, well, there's nothing special about this stuff whatsoever. But obviously they have a catalog and have the real deal. They just didn't have it at the store. I was looking for like pockets to put a gun. And it's like, no, there wasn't anything like that in there.
Yeah, but aren't they made kind of tough, though? I mean, I don't know. I don't own any 511, but I thought they were at least like some pretty good quality.
Yeah, well, I mean, Carhartt makes some, extremely durable, pants. I mean, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, but those are kind of heavy. If you're gonna run around and stuff, don't you want lightweight but tough? I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I've never owned them. So I just thought that there was something kind of special about them, at least.
That's true. I have not owned them either, so maybe there is quality that I'm not aware of. But, again, I had always thought that that they were designed to look like normal pants, but had some additional qualities for carrying magazines, and, something like that. That they would fit in with what I'll call business casual, yet you would still be able to, conceal carry with nobody being the wiser.
Ooh, someone's saying fire hose pants. I definitely love those.
Oh, I got a pair of those. They're
So
great.
that's Duluth.
That's Duluth.
That's what all my work pants are. They're awesome.
Yeah, and they'll
Anyways,
stand up by themselves.
Yeah, if you don't wash them for a month, maybe.
No, when they're brand new, they do that.
So what do you mean? The Duluth Trading Company?
Yeah, that was a complete side note, but yeah, they make pants out of like fire hose.
Yes. Relatively
I-
indestructible.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're just like a canvas, super heavy duty work pant.
Okay.
So enough of the plug for 511. What did they ever send the show?
Exactly. When did they become a sponsor?
Topics, I guess. That's fine.
Well, it's just
Well,
because
we also got other topics in the show we can talk about,
yes,
like the gun of the day, the gun movie of the day. Did anything happen in history today?
No, let's talk about the gun movie today.
Hold on. I got the history stuff up right here. So today's May 11th. Nothing all that impressive happened. A couple of things. Minnesota was admitted as the 32nd state in 1858. Kind of interesting. Then, where I saw another interesting one, I thought. Anyway, then this one, the siege of Khe Sanh ended with the base still in American hands in 1967.
Didn't they then abandon it a month later or something?
It was ours to abandon, though. So, and then it looks like in 1862, the Confederates scuttled the CSS Virginia off of Norfolk.
And that was the first ironclad to go into battle.
Did it kill the Monitor?
No, they fought to a stalemate,
Oh, okay.
but it had already attacked blockading ships and sunk them.
Now, speaking of the Civil War, in the team room, there was a guy who had told me from South Carolina that, and I have no idea if this, he seems reasonably serious, but he was saying that the kill ratio of Northerners to Southerners, that the Southerners were killing a 3 to 1 ratio of Northerners.
I think I might have heard something like that before. Yeah, just
Well,
because.
they lost the war.
Yeah, but they were much more used to hunting and shooting, and I mean they were for the most part actually fighting for their own land.
Yes. But and so I mean, it was just a surprising, a little factoid that I was certainly unaware of, if true, and had no reason to doubt him. I just thought I'd mention it to see if any of you guys had heard one way or the other.
Yeah, I've heard statistics close to that before. Yeah.
I don't know. All right. So what do you want?
I mean, I had no idea either way.
You say you want to dig into the movie of the day?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. So every day we try to hit a movie, something that you haven't seen in a while, or if you're a youngin, something you ain't seen yet, and something related to guns. And today it's Band of the Hand, 1980s movie. Who remembers that one?
Fantastic movie, dude.
Don't
Are
remember.
you kidding? James Remar, basically like Ajax from the Warriors. You got the guy that is on, what the fuck is it called? It's the AMC show with all the kung fu stuff. He's the dude in the wheelchair.
Badlands.
Yeah, Into the Badlands. So like basically pre-wheelchair. He's also the guy that was in with the one, the alien planet with all the blue people.
Avatar.
Avatar, yeah. So it's got that dude, a bunch of other people you've seen in other movies in the 80s. It's got Lawrence Fishburne, like I said, James Remar. It's basically, it's almost about youth reformation, trying to help the youths of Miami or something like that. I think it's the dude that comes back from like Vietnam or something to that effect. and he tries to help reclaim the streets and some kids from the bad people running the show. Cream, I believe, is Lawrence Fishburne. I believe. And there are a lot of guns in this movie.
It says juvenile lost causes are reformed by a war veteran using survival tactics. But I thought it was like he took a bunch of kids off the street and trained them to be like assassins or something, or like some sort of superhero team or like vigilante team.
I don't know if I would put that connotation on it. I'd pretty much do it just like they said, because part of the survival tactics, it wasn't necessarily how to fire a gun at first, but he like takes them into like the Everglades or something like that in order to get them off of their drugs and their mindset away from, you know, the streets and all that bullshit, like get their face out of their phone even before their faces were in the phone. So it was, you know, that. Now it ends up pissing off some of the wrong people, and then there is a war that basically happens in the streets, and so then he has to utilize some of his other techniques that he learned in the war against the thugs and gangs.
Now, are these guys related to, you know, the Foot Clan from the Ninja Turtles? Or is that separate?
Technically, the Hand is what lives in Marvel, and the Foot is a parody of the Hand. But so no, to answer your question,
I don't know, man. I wonder if that's an homage to the name, the Ninja Turtles.
I don't think so. It was 1986, so it wasn't too long after they were even created, right? And I think it was just supposed to be because there were 5 of them.
Well, and it was how they came together, and that was like a brotherhood type of thing.
Right. Doesn't the main guy get killed or something? Yeah.
Not gonna say.
So then, yes.
But yeah, I can barely remember it. I often, every once in a while, I'll be like, what's a movie that I haven't seen in a while? And it'll come up. I don't know where to find it. Is it out there anymore?
That's right. It is time for the answer ambush of the day. Suckers. What? Yep. It's happening right now.
This isn't precedented.
Tired of that easy answer bullshit. All right. So in the movie, Band of the Hand, what gun is Lawrence Fishburne holding when he gets shot? Tick tock, tick tock. There is one spot that you can go look at it, but I'm not going to tell you where to go look.
Diecaster is saying it was a must-see movie. I would imagine he must know the answer to that.
Dude, it was a good movie, dude.
I thought Hawaii caught fire or something.
No, that's what our hurricane siren sounds like. That's our civil defense warning. All right, so far we don't have any guesses. Everybody, 92FS is incorrect. That's not what he's holding when he gets shot. Glock 17, I don't even think it was out yet. 92S again, incorrect. That's not what he's holding when he gets shot. Literally, just scroll down the page. That's all.
You guys got the serial number or just the model number? Aw. Feels so bad for you, Roomtastic.
Bitter.
Was it an M60?
No, it was not an M60, unfortunately. It's literally on the same page that you saw the 92S or the 92. There you go, Pink Panther. Pink Panther is the genius. He survived the answer ambush. Good job. Pink, you know where to go when you're a winner. So just put it in that it was today's answer ambush, all right? Thank you very much.
And what was the answer?
The answer is the Micro Uzi.
But although he knows where to go, we always want to pump out that brand identification, dailygunshow.com.
And not the mini Uzi, the Micro Uzi. He had it correct.
Right.
Now, out of curiosity, what is I'm not aware. What's the difference between the mini and the micro?
Size.
I mean, was it caliber as well, or just size?
Size.
Okay.
Both full 9mm.
All
Is there a half 9mm?
Not a little dinky.
Called a 380.
So head into the gun of the day. Every day we like to feature a gun,
Yep.
and today it is a gun.
Yes, it is a Smith & Wesson Schofield. Why did I pick that, you might ask? Because I was looking at some that bandits carried in the bad old days in the Old West at Tombstone. Really cool. Really the kid?
What caliber is it, Bob? How many rounds does it hold? Was it bolt action? Give us a little something, Bob.
You don't know what a Smith & Wesson Schofield is?
Not
Like,
both.
I assume everybody knows.
I know where the Schofield Barracks is on Oahu, Bob. Do you?
It's a break top revolver.
Yeah, break top revolver, like from the cowboy days, right? So to reload, you weren't sliding that gate open and revolving the cylinder and using your little push rod thingy and doing all that stuff. You just broke it open, dumped it, put in 6 more rounds. Well, 5 if you were going to actually put it back in your holster, but 6 if you were in combat, which was a great advantage. So yeah, I'm surprised more outlaws didn't carry them, except they did have a problem with, breaking
Opening.
rings.
Yeah.
No, they would break once in a while because people would snap them closed and shit like that. But yeah, if you kept yours in good condition, it was going to work and function because it was a single action. Center fire, 44, 45 Colt. You can give them a couple of 38. You can give them in different calibers. But yeah, they were a really cool revolver for their day, and I don't know why they weren't more popular, other than perhaps the ruggedness that the 45 Colt single action had. So, I think they were
They
really
were
cool.
in 44. They were in 44, so that's a big caliber to shoot out of a.
Oh yeah, and most of them had like an 8-inch barrel or a 7-inch barrel. So I mean, they had, they kept a lot of that velocity from those black powder rounds. So I mean, it was a serious revolver. And like I say, the reload time is what made it. I mean, that was a fantastic innovation for its day. And I just got to see real ones that gunfighters carried, so I'm all kind of pumped about them. I really want a replica now.
So, did we get the details on are they still shooting every hour on the hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week?
Yeah.
Who, what? Yeah.
24 hours a day. They're out there every day doing those gunfights. Yeah, multiple places.
So they are doing it like at nighttime as well?
No, just every day. I'm saying, not 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
You actually assume that they turned on lights and did it at night, Dano?
No, I assumed when somebody said they do it all the time, that meant something that it didn't.
Understandable. And that brings us to the next segment of the show.
Oh yes, which is
literally the end, I think. So
Gun Channels Tonight.
Gun Channels Tonight.
And I think what we all got is TAC.
Yeah, the weekly or news weekly should be coming up here, probably about a half an hour, I think, if we're remembering it right.
Something like that, yeah.
And usually in the morning, somebody will have a show going, either Sean or Night Strike, some sort of a Good Morning Gun Channels type of thing. And then we'll be back here tomorrow. I don't think.
Oh,
heavy show.
Actually, is this the off week or the on week for the Marshall?
Off, I guess. So no heavy.
Okay.
And then we'll be back here at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, for episode 310. We'll be talking about found guns, because Bob found a gun. We'll be talking about gun business. How much do you need to spend for a gun company to remember you? And then we wrap up the week.
Sorry.
There's an answer. 42. Oh, I better not cut that because Bob has to read something. All right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no, I think we'll be back tomorrow. Hope everybody had a good time. Thanks for everybody for showing up. We do appreciate the people that are watching live. We see that number is increasing. It gives us motivation to keep doing the show enthusiastically. And of course, anybody that wants to see that happen at a faster scale, you can participate in lots of different ways. Something as simple as liking the show right now. For example, we got 42 people watching us on YouTube, and we have just 21 thumbs up. So that's like a 50% ratio. You could do something as simple as thumbing up the video over there. If you really want to help out, you could take the time to download or install that iTunes software so that you can go through and give us a comment or some kind of constructive criticism. Would be great. Give us some thumbs up on some of the actual podcasts over there. Since you've got it installed, take the time to check out some of the other gun-related podcasts out there. And if that's too much effort, you can always just head over to YouTube. We are trying to increase the subscriber number over there. It'll help us to get our shows recommended to more listeners. So all those efforts help a lot. Of course, we have our Patreon. To this Saturday, we'll be doing our Patreon scheduling show. So anybody who's a contributing member over on Patreon is welcome to join us live at our old time slot at noon Pacific. We also we don't do a lot of stuff behind the scenes over on Patreon, but we do offer things occasionally to our Patreon people, like extras. And then, of course, like we mentioned earlier, we have the logo gear available over at gearwebsites.com or on our website, dailygunshow.com. You can link to the shirts and mugs, and we should probably put hats over there. Bob's always wearing the patch on his hat. He's got like a Velcro thing on his hat.
Yeah, I don't know why we don't have hats. I like my patch. People always ask me about it. What is that? Oh, it's a Daily Gun Show. And if you want to listen to us, you can see us on YouTube. You can download us on. Anyway, everybody knows that. So
Bob and I went to a couple. I don't know if we mentioned it on air or not, but Bob and I drove down to Tombstone today, so we saw a couple of shops along the way and the museum. So we'll be bringing those up in future shows. As far as our gun shop of the day, but we do have a lot of people contributing to the gun shop of the day via email. We appreciate that. Anything you want to do, if you've been listening to the show, you know the kind of topics we do or the kind of segments we've got. Anything you want to contribute to that, or if you'd like to be a guest, you can email us at dailygunshow@gmail.com.
Yeah. So if I think we're finished right up, guys. So we'll end this on our quote. As usual, this one is by Theodore Roosevelt. I know everyone's probably sick of Theodore's. I just like the guy. What can I say? So anyway, before I do that, I want to remind everybody, please subscribe, thumbs up, share, all that good stuff. Especially share it on Facebook. Yeah, because lots of people do Facebook. So anyway, by Theodore Roosevelt, to educate a man in mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to society. Doesn't seem like what's happening today. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching and listening. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching gunwebsites.com. That's $500. You and the rest. $500 must be a piece of a hand. Well, I suppose I'm deranged, but I guess I just have to.